So this is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course we are out here hooking you up with the best of the best interviews. And today we have another special guest. So guest, please introduce yourself.
Fantastic. My name is Mwai. I am a Kenyan cinematographer, director of photography, a model, a commercial and runway model, and I'm happy to be here to, chat and know the way forward of things.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, in your bio, I saw that you are a cinematographer, a gimbal operator. So I just want you to explain, like, what does this really mean?
So a cinematographer is someone who translates the director's vision into visual. So a director comes to the story and he wants to tell the story in visual perspective. So he reaches out to someone like me who, interprets the story in image form. And through that, you're able to translate it through the camera, the lens choice, lighting, even the production design and production value that you'll be able to put into the production. So a cinematographer is someone who just translates the idea or the vision of the director into visuals. Yeah, and a gimbal operator is just it's a tool that we use for stabilizing the shots. So there's a gimbal, there's a Steadicam, and I have the skills in operating all of them.
So where did your journey start in terms of which school did you go and what did you study?
All right. My journey started in 2012. I was studying communication and journalism. And then while I was doing that, I started pursuing modeling. And I was mostly known for that. So after graduating, I continued with my studies. I went to Kenya Methodist University and I pursued film and TV and radio production with a minor of documentary and performing arts. So I had film throughout my career. It's just that people knew me more in the modeling side. So Kenya Methodist University was really great. I got to learn a lot of theory. And once I graduated, I joined a company called Film Fields for my internship, where I learned most of the practical things. So through that, I've been freelancing on my own, and I've been able to work with so many directors, producers, and other cinematographers, director of photography. And through that, I've been able to acquire more skills and knowledge from them, as well as my own research. Yeah.
From your internship, and you're talking about right now you are freelancing, I just want to know how did you get guys to believe in you? Because of course there are very many cinematographers in the field, so I just want to know how maybe what you did that maybe made guys start believing in you and giving you opportunity.
Okay, I believe the first thing was having the passion for it. It's not an easy industry, and people usually come into the industry thinking that they'll make money. Well, you will make money, that's for sure, but it's very important for you to have passion for what you love, for what you're doing. So that's the first thing, because if you do anything with your heart, people will definitely notice and recognize that. So what I did was, flow with how I feel, and I was able to express myself throughout the journey, and also acquiring skills at, very fast, because production and technology, things change. You have one camera today, and the next day you have a different camera, or you're on one set and the next time you're not sure what camera you're going to be using. So it's very important to familiarize yourself with the tools that you have. So gaining the skills in both in front of the camera and behind the camera. So whenever it comes to shooting, you have the skills of, framing, composition, lighting, setting the mood, and all that. And also when you have done all that, you also have to have the skills of editing. So compiling and, bringing the story to life. So in my journey, I feel that acquiring skills that have been able to, catapult me in better position and allowing other people to have the confidence in me is, having the love for the film and acquiring skills to be able to push me ahead. Yeah.
I want to know what you do most of the time. Do you do movies most of the time? Do you do TV commercials? Do you do music videos? Or you're just an all-rounded cinematographer? Any opportunity you get, you'll take it. How is it?
Right. What I usually say is I do everything apart from weddings and funerals, because I have done them, and not to say that they're not fulfilling, but I felt like you put a lot of energy into it, and for me it wasn't fulfilling. So in that regards, I do commercials, TV commercials, and I do documentaries, I do short films, feature films, I do music videos, and currently actually have a short film that we did. It's called Juakali, and it's really doing well in festivals in the Europe, and it's one of the things that are very authentic to the Kenyan story. It's about a lady called Diana who is a house help, and Diana is someone who supports the middle class. So you never see them, but they do a lot of work for people. And we just follow her journey on how things, transpire in her day or even through her life. So I feel like I'm well-rounded in everything. It's just that sometimes you have to align yourself in whatever you're capable or you feel that you're strong in.
I want us to talk about licenses, and like from my research and also just talking to other guys, I've learned that in other countries, you can just take out your camera and start shooting, because in those countries, they usually view it like this guy is shooting maybe a movie or a music video, so that will market our country. But in Kenya, I've heard that you really need to have a lot of licenses to even just take out your camera and do it. So I want you to talk about licenses, like for you to just shoot maybe a documentary or a music video. Tell us the licenses that you need.
First of all, I feel like licenses are very important because we need to have a governing body of what we are doing so that everything is transparent. And here in Kenya, you have to have licenses for practically everything that you're doing, either documentary or even shooting B-roll in town, music video, TV commercial. You have to have the licenses, and the KFCB helps in that. So even if you're coming from outside, you will need licenses to shoot here in Kenya. And I feel to an extent, especially for everyone, be it a young cinematographer or someone who's experienced, I think it's very important for the government to look into that and just be able to allow people to have the freedom to express their stories by, just whipping out your camera and, documenting something interesting. I think it helps in growing the industry. I think it helps in growing the creative aspects of telling the story. I feel it's very important for people to have the freedom to be able to, express and tell the stories of tell their own stories in their own perspective. I feel that's one thing that we haven't done quite well telling Kenyan stories, because sometimes you fear that if you walk in, you go to town and you start doing a photo shoot or a music video and you don't have the licenses, the city council askaris are going to harass you for that. So you might tend to have a fear for shooting that. But I feel it's very important for us to understand that, or even the government to understand that they need to make licenses easier to acquire, or more so, make it free for people to shoot anywhere in town. Yeah.
There is another issue we can talk about, and this is about cost of production. You've talked about that you have done, and there, because you are in the industry, you can talk about this cost of production. This is whereby there have been a lot of talks whereby guys say that our cost of production is very high. Thus, it even scares investors from coming and investing in our film industry. I don't know if you have also noticed this in the industry.
I've heard about it, about the cost of production being high, but I think it's due to licenses and the tax that these productions have been, the tax that the government has levied on them. So it makes it a not so favorable investment. So here in Kenya, it's, from what I have seen and have learned, that it is true that the production cost is very high. And sometimes it's because, as I said, the licenses and getting the equipment that you need sometimes can be quite expensive, because there are not so many production companies that have all the equipment, all the standard equipment that you might need to do a high-end production. So it's very important for us to, as Kenyans and even the government, to be able to revise that, to make it favorable for international companies or even international directors, DPs, to have a conducive environment to come in Kenya and also, tell or even capture stories that might be interesting for them.
From your perspective, I don't know what you think can be done so that we can compete globally, or because you have also talked about doing a film that is successful, you can also just talk to us about how we can be able to compete globally.
First of all, I think it would be very important for the Kenyan government to invest itself into the creative space. If we are not able as a government or even as a Kenyan people to invest in ourselves, it becomes very difficult for an individual or even a company to be able to, sell themselves and sell their works internationally. And for us to be able to market ourselves better, we need to create more content. We need to create content that is authentic to the Kenyan people, something that we can relate and also the world can relate as well, but to also have something that is, Kenyan or African, something that you feel relates to you from your education system, through your life and everything that you've seen around yourself. So the other thing would to have better production value in terms of investing ourselves in, these spaces that will allow us to create more content that has more value. I feel we have stories, but we haven't quite understood how to tell them, in the sense that we do not invest in good gear, we don't invest in lighting, even acquiring the skills of expressing these stories. Production design, all these things are small things that, add to the value of a production. We have very many stories here in Kenya or even in Africa. But sometimes the way they are told, they are not quite attractive, as I might say, because we tend to overlook some of the details, and those details don't express how the story would have been properly expressed. So the other thing would also collaborate with different people. This can be your local people, fellow Kenyan men or women, and even international people, because exchange of ideas and information helps to grow the story. The other thing would be having a sense of identity. I think some of the times rely on, Hollywood or Western ideas that we tend to forget who we are as a people. So having an identity will help create a niche for ourselves and will help, put our stories and authenticity out there in the world. So I feel that's something very strong, and it would really make a huge difference in marketing ourselves to the international market.
I want to know how you keep up with trends. There's always a new camera in the market every day.
Yeah.
There is always a new software to edit every day. So, like for you, how are you able to keep up with the trends?
Man, it's every day that, as you said, there's something coming up. So you always have to be on the lookout. If you have the investment or of acquiring some of the softwares, some of the cameras, some of the lenses, it is very ideal because it puts you in a better position to shoot more content that has more value in terms of clarity, image, and quality image shooting something that is of high quality. Even if it's downgraded to either 1080 or 720, you still get the richness of the image. So in terms of editing softwares, you always have to learn. You always have to learn. I think YouTube is a very ideal platform that has all these things that are updated. You have softwares that are coming, DaVinci, Premiere Pro, that they always put tricks, and you can always learn how to better yourselves on a daily basis. The other thing I feel that you have to keep up with is things like TikTok or Instagram. I feel like TikTok has so much content. If you use it in the right way, you would advance yourself in acquiring very many skills, or you might even get ideas on how to shoot something differently or how to approach an idea. And you always have to be educating yourself, having 1 hour, 2 hours, refreshing the things that you learned in school, seeing what other people are doing, seeing what other directors, even DPs are currently doing, if it is in terms of rigging shots, how, getting yourself up to date on how best you can solve some of these problems. So it's very important to be in the front line of, seeing or even creating these trends for yourself. Yeah.
For the online media, we have seen the online media in Kenya grow. I just want you, I don't know if you can really react to this, but I just want you to, for vlogging, I don't know if you can just recommend a camera and a software to use for vlogging.
Vlogging? Oh man, yeah. I think the Canon M50 is an ideal. It's affordable. It shoots 4K. It has autofocus. And if you're vlogging all the time, you can just have a simple tripod that you can easily shoot yourself in high quality. And I think if you're starting out as a vlogger, I think M50 it's an ideal camera. It's very affordable. It's easy to use. For the software, I'd advise using DaVinci. It's also an easy software. You can learn it either if you're a fast learner, a week, 2 weeks, even a month, if you're consistent on it. And you have all the tools, if you want to color, if you want to do sound, if you want to do effects, all these things, you're able to do that on that platform. The other one, you can use Adobe Premiere Pro. And if you're not using a camera or you're using your phone, there's so many apps nowadays that you can use to edit videos for yourself. I use Lightcut. There's for Lightroom, you can use for pictures, and yeah, there are endless softwares for these things. Just finding your own, space to be able to shoot and edit properly. The other camera would be, I'd say Sony A7 III. It's also a great camera if you're going for something high-end. If you buy it with the Sony prime lenses, with the autofocus, it gives you a superb, quality, and you really don't have to worry about the focus all the time, especially if you're a vlogger. You want to just point, have your crisp image that is in focus, and you can easily capture it, and then later on just sit down on your laptop and just edit. So yeah, there's so many cameras. Just seeing what works within your budget, what is you're comfortable with in terms of your skill, and what preference you like, because the Canon and the Sony and the Red, they all have different color sciences. So yeah, it's more of a personal thing.
You can talk to us about the projects that you have done, okay, so that guys can also know.
Nice. In terms of commercial, I've shot something for Copia. So it's about how goods and services are delivered in the rural area. And you can check it out on YouTube on my page, Simon Mwai. I have all the works that I've done, plus my showreel as well. I have done so many music videos, from Nameless to Nonini to Prezo, and other commercials or other brands that I've worked with, Telcom, Safaricom, and documentaries. I shot with Mariga for his documentary called Chances, which ended up winning the best documentary in Kalasha. Also, even the commercial that we did for Copia won the best commercial. So in terms of documentaries, there are a bunch of documents that I've done. There's one for Kariobangi Sharks, which also won an award. And we did something with the USAID about drought a couple of years back. And now the one that we're doing currently, it's called Jua Kali, as I mentioned. So we will be doing the full feature film hopefully sometime soon, and we are inviting everyone to check it out. And if you feel like it's something that you would invest in, or you'd be happy to express your ideas on it, I would be happy to hear that. And currently we're working on something, TV series for Showmax. It's called Giza, which will be premiering on the 23rd of this month. So guys, please check it out. Yeah, it's really dope.
For guys starting out, you can also just talk to them, tell them what to look out for in this industry as they're starting out.
Okay. All right. If you're starting out, I'd say just experiment, just shoot a lot, make a lot of mistakes or not make a lot of mistakes, just try and see what works for you. It can be commercials, it can be anything small. Just pick a camera, go somewhere, shoot, edit, feel how the story is flowing, read a lot, research a lot, talk to people, and ask how things are done or how they should be done. And if it is possible, I think it's very important to find a mentor, someone who you can shadow. If you want to be a director of photography, if you want to be a director, if you want to be a continuity person, if you want to be a production designer, all these things are very important to find someone who is already ahead of you, who can easily show you the ropes. And from that, you can find your own space. You can find your own niche, understand how you like things, you understand how your composition is, you understand how you're framing, all these things have, for me, have a personal connotation to it. So the best thing is to, have fun as well. Have fun, because anything that you do and your heart is not there, it's really going to take a toll on you. So it's very important to find or to do what you love, as we all know. And don't worry about the tools. Some of these things are just you might feel like you're stuck because you don't have the best camera, or you don't have the best editing software or anything like that. But anything small nowadays, our phones are like, supercomputers. You can do a lot on them. So you can start from there and then market yourself, interact with people, collaborate. I feel exchanging ideas and brainstorming is fundamental in anything that you do. You cannot do anything by yourself. So yeah, that's about it. That's what I'd say if you're starting out.
Thank you so much, bro, for your time.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for giving me the platform to talk to you. And yeah, let's keep talking more about such conversations.
Thank you.